Let's talk about one of the most frustrating feelings in the world for an IELTS test taker. You know you understood the listening audio perfectly, but you still end up losing points. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden traps designed to catch you out, and I'll show you exactly how to beat them. Does this sound familiar to you? You're in the middle of the exam, you are following the conversation, everything is making perfect sense, but then you get your score back and see marks dropped on questions you were sure you nailed. Believe me, it's an incredibly common problem, and it almost always comes down to just a few tiny, really sneaky details. I love this quote because it just perfectly captures the issue. You know, think of the main conversation as this nice, clear road, but these little mistakes, they're like hidden speed bumps. I call them silent score killers because they are designed to trip you up when you least expect it. But the good news? Once you learn how to spot them, you can just cruise right over them. So how do we do it? We are going to break down the 3 biggest silent score killers you're going to face in the listening test. And by the end of this, you'll have a super clear strategy to identify and disarm every single one. Let's get right into the first trap. Okay, first up is the classic number mix-up. This is probably, and I mean probably, the most frequent trap in the entire listening test. Specifically, it's that confusion between numbers ending in teen and those ending in T. They sound so similar, but there is one simple trick to telling them apart every single time. Okay, look closely at this, because the entire secret is right here. It is all about where the emphasis, the stress, lies. For numbers ending in teen, the stress is on the end of the word, 13, 19. But for numbers ending in T, the stress is right at the beginning, 30, 90. Can you hear that difference? That one little shift in stress, that's everything. So your job isn't just to hear the number, it's to listen for the stress. Which part of the word is getting that little punch? That is your foolproof clue. Seriously, once you train your ear for it, you will never mix them up again. All right, trap number 2. This one is called the correction distractor, and let me tell you, the test makers absolutely love to use this one. So here's how it works. A speaker will give you a piece of information, let's say a phone number, and just as you're busy writing it down, they'll correct themselves. It's a test, right? To see if you're just writing down the first thing you hear or if you're really listening. But here is the secret. They always leave you clues. Think of these as trigger words. Whenever you hear someone say, "Oh no," "sorry," "actually," or "wait," a little alarm bell should go off in your head. Ding! That's the signal that a correction is coming. And the real answer is right behind it. So what's the strategy here? It's simple, but it is so powerful. Just 3 words. Wait, listen, then write. Your first instinct is to immediately write down the first number or name you hear. You have to fight that instinct. Just wait until the speaker has finished their thought, listen for those trigger words, and only then should you write down the final piece of information they give you. Our third and final trap is what I call the spelling snare. Now, this one can feel particularly unfair because you might know the answer, but one small spelling mistake can cost you the entire point. This trap targets 2 main things: words with tricky silent letters and those easily missed plurals. And here are some classic examples. Wednesday has that silent D. So many people forget the first R when they're spelling February, and autumn has a silent N at the end. The examples specifically use words just like these to test your spelling accuracy when you're under pressure. And then there's the plural S. This might be the most painful way to lose a point. If the audio clearly says the answer is apples, and you just write apple, it's marked completely wrong. One single missing letter costs you the whole point. You have to train your ear to listen specifically for that S sound at the end of nouns. Okay, so we've identified the traps: number stress, corrections, and spelling. But how do you possibly manage all of that while the audio is playing at full speed? Well, this is where your test day weapon comes in. This one tip is going to help you turn your rushed, messy notes into perfect, point-scoring answers. So here's the key. Do not worry about perfect spelling while the audio is playing. Your only job in that moment is to keep up. Use abbreviations to write quickly. For example, instead of writing out February, just jot down Feb. This saves you precious seconds so you don't miss the next piece of information. And this is where the magic happens. At the end of the entire listening section, you get 10 whole minutes to transfer your answers to the official answer sheet.
This isn't just transfer time. This is your dedicated checking time. This is when you expand Feb into February and you double check that you've spelled it absolutely perfectly.
So let's recap your 3 golden rules. First, you're going to listen for the stress in numbers to tell teen from T. Second, you're going to listen for those trigger words like sorry that signal a correction is about to happen. And third, you're going to use that 10-minute transfer time as your secret weapon to perfect your spelling and add those all-important plurals. Ultimately, mastering these skills isn't just about passing a test. It's really about training your ear to catch the crucial little details that most people miss. When you learn to listen this precisely, you're not just avoiding traps, you're actually building a much deeper level of understanding. And it leaves you with a really fascinating question. Now that you can hear the details, what else will you discover?